Hello students, let us discuss the structure of the play All My Sons, its plot and also important characters from the play. The play follows the three dramatic unities. There is unity of time. Action of the play gets completed within 24 hours. There is also unity of place. The action of the play takes place in the home of Joe Keller. The entire action of the play focuses on the conduct of Joe Keller. Therefore, we can say there is unity of action. The play All My Sons has compact and well knit structure. There is a link between previous actions and present consequences. Let us now look at the plot of the play. The play is divided into three acts. In the first act, Miller gives background information. The action begins in Joe Keller's backyard. Joe Keller and his neighbors are introduced. There is flashback about Larry Keller, who is the son of Joe Keller. There is also news about the arrival of Ann Deaver, whom Chris Keller has invited so that he could propose marriage to her. George Deaver, who is the brother of Ann Deaver, calls up her from Columbus. So this is about first act. In the second act, we have a conversation between Ann Deaver and Sue. They talk about Joe Keller. George Deaver reveals the truth about Joe Keller. We know what has happened in the past, how Joe Keller has involved himself in a crime by sending defective cylinder heads to the army, and how he has put the entire blame on his business partner and friend Steve Deaver. This truth is revealed by George Deaver here. Chris accuses his father, Joe Keller, of killing his countrymen. Because of Joe Keller's action, 21 pilots lose their lives. That is why Chris accuses his father of killing so many young men. Joe Keller justifies himself. Joe Keller admits that he had sent faulty cylinder heads, but he justifies himself saying he did it in order to support his family, in order to make his family financially secure. So he justifies himself, giving the reason why he had to do it. The entire thing was done by him for the sake of his family. That is the justification Joe Keller gives. Now going to third act, Kate Keller wants Chris Keller to forgive his father Joe Keller, because the action of exporting faulty cylinder heads took place long ago. There is no point in digging up old things now. That is why Kate Keller, who wants her family to be happy, wants her son to forgive his father, and reads Larry's letter. Now in Larry's letter, he has mentioned that he is committing suicide because he is upset and ashamed of his father's action, and reads Larry's letter in order to save her future marriage with Chris Keller. Kate Keller has been objecting the marriage between Chris and Anne, because she believes that Larry Keller, to whom Anne was engaged, is not dead. He is just missing and will be returning after some time. So, in order to convince Kate Keller of Larry's death, Anne Deaver reads Larry's letter in her presence. Chris informs Joe Keller that Larry had killed himself. Now, Joe Keller comes to know that he is responsible not only for the death of his son but also for the other pilots who lost their lives. So he believes that all of them are his children. He has killed all his children. So, unable to bear this guilty feeling, he shoots himself at the end of third act. So, now we have discussed the plot structure of All My Sons. Now, let us see who are the important characters of this play. Joe Keller, Chris Keller, Kate Keller, Anne Deaver, George Deaver, Jim Bayliss, Sue Bayliss, Frank Lube, Lydia Lube, and Bert. These are some of the important characters that you come across in the play. Now let us learn about the character of Joe Keller. Joe Keller is around 60 years old. He is amicable, warm person and he loves social life. In the beginning of the play, you find Joe Keller engaging in a friendly conversation between all his neighbors. He is a self-made man, that is, he has come up to the present status with a lot of hard work. He doesn't have any educational background. He has struggled hard as a child. He knows the value of money, how important it is to save money. He knows about it, but he lacks common sense because he concentrates only towards his family and he doesn't think about the repercussions such action can have on the society as a whole. Joe Keller is a family man. He has great concern towards his wife, Kate Keller. There is a tragic flaw in his character. The tragic flaw is something which is, a defect in the character. Because of this, he betrays his friend, Steve Deaver. Unable to visualize public consequence of private act. This is what we had said just a moment ago. He concentrates only on his family and he is not able to understand what such actions can have on the society in general. He justifies his action of sending faulty cylinder heads to the army, saying that he did it to save his family from bankruptcy. In the end of the play, he shoots himself to escape from humiliation and guilt. Now, Chris Keller, he is the son of Joe Keller. He is a well-built man of 34 years. He reads the book section of newspaper, but he is not interested in reading books themselves. He will just read the review of books. He is ready to quit family if his parents object his marriage to Anne Deaver. He knows that his mother believes that his brother Larry will return one day and she will definitely object to his marriage with Anne Deva. Therefore, if the parents object, he is ready to move out of the family. He is profoundly hurt when he comes to know that his father is guilty. Now, he has great regard for his father's hard work and character in the beginning. All that is crushed when he comes to know that his father is guilty of betraying his friend and being responsible for the killing of many soldiers. He also blames himself for his father's self-destruction. Now let us come to Kate Keller. Kate Keller is kind, affectionate and motherly. Entire play she is called by the name Mother. She is also jovial, warm and friendly. She firmly believes that her son Larry is alive. She does not approve marriage of Chris and Anne. You know the reason for this. She believes that her son Larry is still alive, and as he was engaged to Anne Deaver, marriage between Chris and Anne should not take place, because when Larry returns, he will come to know that marriage has taken place between Chris and Anne, and he will be very upset. That is why Kate Keller wants Anne Deaver to wait for Larry's return. She lives in denial and self-deception. Somewhere in the corner of her mind, Kate Keller also knows that Larry is dead and her husband, Joe Keller, is responsible for his death. But she refuses to believe it. That is why we say Kate Keller lives in denial and self-deception. She is forced to accept Larry's death by the end of the play, and she is also made aware that her husband committed the crime of being responsible for the pilot's death and also Larry's death through Larry's letter. Let us come to Anne Deaver. Anne Deaver is a beautiful, intelligent 24-year-old daughter of Steve Deaver. She is impressed by honesty and idealistic qualities of Chris Keller. That is why she wants to get married to him. She is the one who reveals the truth about Larry, because she is driven by a desire to save her future marriage with Chris Keller. Now let us come to George Deaver, who is the son of Steve Deaver. He is a lawyer and he has served in World War II. There is news about George's meeting with his father, in the play, and this creates apprehension in the minds of Kate and Joe Keller, because they are doubtful or suspicious that Steve may reveal something to George. So they are in a way doubtful about this meeting between George and his father. George tries very hard to prove Joe Keller's involvement in his father's imprisonment. But though he tries very hard, he is not successful until Kate Keller inadvertently lets the secret about Keller's flew. Now, when he tries to speak to the Kellers about Joe's involvement in Steve Deaver's imprisonment, they do not agree or accept it. But finally, by the slip of tongue, Kate Keller, says that her husband never falls sick. He is a very healthy man. It is only then, George realizes that Joe Keller is involved in his father's imprisonment. With this, we will come to the end of this video. We will continue in further videos about the remaining characters. Please refer to eGyanakosh for more information regarding the plot and characters of All My Sons. Thank you.